Hey everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel. For today's 5 on Friday, I'm going to share with you my fall covers wrap-up. So normally I do this vlog style, but I just never sat down and told you about the books I was reading as I was reading them. So this is going to be like a proper wrap-up while I talk about all 5 of them. And it is long overdue because we're into spring now. I'm right on top of everything. So some of the details are going to be a little bit fuzzy because I have read a lot of books since I've read some of these, but I'm going to try to give you a gist of what they were about and my thoughts on them as best as I can remember. So first up, I read The Night Gardener by Jonathan Auxier, and this book was not set in fall. I almost said in spring because I'm in spring, but actually it is set in spring. If I had guessed spring, I would have been bang on. So this follows 2 orphan children, Molly and Kip, who are looking for work, and they end up coming across this kind of rundown house where they become servants. And it soon becomes a little creepy, and they realize something strange is going on, and that their lives may be in danger. So I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really like the relationship between Molly and Kip and the kids in the house where they are being servants. This definitely gave me creepy vibes. I couldn't read it at night. So, while it wasn't set in fall, it definitely had a lot of spooky vibes. It is a book I can see myself rereading because I did enjoy it. And I can tell you that some of the details have faded, but not enough. And the details that I remember are like very spoilery, so I can't really share them with you. But it mainly focuses on Molly and Kip and their work in this house and the creepy things that are going on and what that means for them. So that is the basic premise. According to my notes, it was set in spring. I couldn't tell you that now. But that is why I make notes. And I remember very much enjoying it and it being very spooky. So spooky vibes, yes. Fall, no. So I'm now 0 for 5. So the next book I read is Twilight Hauntings by Angie Sage, and I'm going to say that I have no idea whether this was set in fall or not because it's set in a fantasy world, so it's kind of not applicable. They never really give an idea whether there is a season or not. And this follows a young girl named Alex who has this set of enchanted cards, and enchantment is illegal where she lives. It has been banned by the king. And if you are found to practice enchantment, you end up getting imprisoned or worse. And her foster sister ends up turning her in, so she ends up on the run, trying to figure out how she got this enchanted cards and why these hauntings who love to go after enchanted people are following her because she has no reason to believe she's an enchanter. I ended up giving this book 3.75 stars, and I read the sequel is a duology. And we have a Blitzy. So I definitely enjoyed reading this book enough to read the sequel. I really liked getting to learn about how magic works in this world because it's a little different and because it's kind of been banned. Alex doesn't know a lot, so you're finding everything out with Alex. And I like a lot of the characters that she meets along the way and the relationships she kind of develops. It is interesting to see how different her relationships are with various members of her foster family and how that kind of weaves throughout the book. And it was an interesting book, not my favorite, but I did enjoy it. And if it sounds interesting, I would recommend it. But like I said, I can't really say that it was in fall because there was no indication to me of a season. And with it being in a fantasy world, their seasons might be different anyways. So I am now 0 for 5. I keep wanting to say 0 for 2, but like there's 5 books, so I'm 0 for 5. Then I read Watch Hollow, and this book is set in summer, not fall. So I gave this book 3.5 stars, and it follows siblings Lucy and Oliver, and their dad gets hired by the owner of this house to fix a cuckoo clock. And once they're there, they soon realize that there is a lot going on with this clock that has ceased to work, and an evil is lurking, and it is tied to the cuckoo clock. And they have to team with these, like, magical clock animals to defeat the evil. I'm sorry about the noise in the background, but I am actually out in the living room for a change, and my cats are playing. So, apologies, but this is when I have time to film, and I really want to get this video done. So, anyways, back to Lucy and Oliver. This book was another one that, while set in summer, definitely had creepy vibes. Like, the cover is extremely creepy, and that definitely plays throughout the book. I thought the animals kind of coming to life was quite interesting, and the magic that surrounds this clock. I wasn't sure what was going on. This is a series, and I do plan to continue the series because I did enjoy this book, even though I only gave it 3.5 stars, enough to want to keep going on. But like I said, some of the finer details have abandoned me, and I don't want to say anything that's too spoilery, but like I said, magical clock, rising evil, 2 kids have to defeat it with the help of magical clock animals, and creepy vibes, definitely creepy vibes. Again, keep in mind, I'm a big old chicken, so maybe not creepy for you, but definitely creepy for me. So if that sounds up your alley, I recommend you give it a shout because it was a decent little read. So with that being said, this book being set in summer means I am now 0 for 5. Still. Then I read The English Wife, and this was set in winter. So again, not fall. I was a season too early on this one. So this is a historical fiction that follows Jane, whose brother died with a knife stuck in his chest. And her sister-in-law has mysteriously disappeared and is presumed to have drowned. And she ends up looking into their murders with the help of this reporter and starts unearthing things that call into question everything surrounding the night her brother and sister-in-law died / mysteriously disappeared. I gave this book 4.25 stars. I remember being completely hooked. Like, once I picked it up, I didn't want to put it down. And I read it in rather quick fashion, if memory serves. It is very intriguing, and it was quite interesting to try to put all of the puzzle pieces together because there was so much going on. I really liked Jane as a character and kind of following her thought process as she tried to piece together the mystery. And because it's a gay mystery thriller, I don't really want to say that much more, but it was set in winter, which is definitely not fall, which makes me 0 for 5. Really having a great round. And then the last book I read is The Dark Deep. And I'm going to say that, yes, this was set in fall. So I don't remember specifically if they ever gave a date. So we're following this boy, Nico, and I got the impression that he was in school, and he mentions that his brother is on, like, some kind of mission. Yeah, Nico got ready for school every day anyways, so he's mentioning being in school. He lives with his dad and his brother. And his brother had gone to Gonzaga this year and wouldn't be home until Thanksgiving. So I think it's in fall. I got fall vibes. Like, when I got done, I felt it had been in fall, and that was one of the reasons. Now, granted, could this have been May? Absolutely. And his brother's still not going to be home till Thanksgiving, but there was something about it that made me think. So I'm going to say maybe and not give myself a full point because I can't quite remember. But this follows Nico and his friends, and they end up finding this island kind of in the mists. And once they get there, there's this mysterious houseboat that's filled with, like, weapons and old maps. And they end up going down into the basement of this houseboat that should not have a basement like this. And they find this weird, murky pool. And they soon discover that there's a lot more to this pool than they thought. And, oh boy, do hijinks ensue from there. So, very, very creepy. Again, another creepy middle grade. So I'm going to give myself half a credit for this because my brain says it was set in fall, and I can't quite remember what about the book besides Nico being in school and his brother not being home till Thanksgiving gave me that vibe. But I feel like there was something else, and I don't want to have to reread the book to find out. So we'll give myself half a point since I can't be completely sure. But like I said, there is definitely creepy vibes to this. I like seeing Nico and his friends try to navigate the complete craziness and creepiness that they have stumbled across and how that kind of progresses as the book goes on because it gets creepier as it goes on. I also do plan to continue on with the series because there is a line at the end that feels very cliffhangery and makes me want to see what happens in the next book. With that being said, I ended up giving this book 3.5 stars. So again, not my favorite, but I did enjoy it. So with this, that makes me 0.5 for 5 because I'm giving myself half a point on this one. Winter, summer, spring, And yeah. So a not great round of fall covers, but spooky vibes, spooky vibes, spooky vibes. I'd say I did pretty decently because usually in the fall I want to read books with spooky vibes. And that was part of why I picked these covers, is because they gave me spooky vibes. And while I didn't necessarily read all of them in fall like I intended to, I definitely had some spooky vibes, which is what I'm looking for. So if you're looking for books with spooky vibes in middle grade, I would recommend all 3 of these. So that's it for this video. I'm so incredibly sorry it has taken me so long to get it out to you, but like I said, I didn't end up filming, and like the more I didn't film, the harder it got, and then I got to a point where I was like, well, I should just film it all at once at the end. But it is over now, it is done with, and I can move on and focus on my spring cover since we're actually now in spring. So that's all for this video. All of my social media is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me follow emojis, like this video, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!